So yeah, like, so your dad, you were actually telling me a little bit more about him. Like, so your dad is obviously a former musician.
Yeah, so...
And then on the other side of all of this, he likes sports, I guess.
Yeah, my dad is like a really weird person who is...
He's a renaissance man.
Yeah, he's done a lot of stuff.
Really, yeah.
So he owns like an education business now.
Wow.
He did music, he taught football, played sports.
Big Scotch guy.
Yeah, he's
Well, there's no more wars to fight, right? The Scottish got to figure out how to, like, release
Yeah.
Absolutely, right? So, in having had a chance to talk to you a little bit before when you were at Lee's Palace. You guys are from London, Ontario.
yeah.
So now I understand why you got the gumption to get the hell out of there, because I'm from London, Ontario as well. We all know what there's only 3 things to do in London. They all fight and drink, right? I get that. That's it. Anyway, so one of the other cool things about what you've done in your journey is that you explained to me you actually did your education in the back of a truck.
Yeah, I mean, we started this band and I was in grade 11, and I was like, oh, well, I guess I can't really be in high school and on the road at the same time, so I was like, I'm just gonna drop out, like, screw this, but then I was like, okay, that's dumb, you need a high school education.
At least high school, right?
Yeah.
GEDs,
Yeah.
grade 10s.
So I did online schooling in the back of a tour bus.
But that takes, like, it shows your dedication to music, but it also shows your dedication, period. Like, when you take the time out of being kind of like wanting to be a rock star and saying, okay, just in case, or not even just in case, I want to make sure I'm equipped, because there's a business side of this too.
Yeah,
so
sure.
if you're not well equipped, like, mentally and obviously in a business way, then things can get tough, right? So, but actually, I think it kind of segues really nicely into the fact that you went directly from London to gigging kind of in the States, I heard.
Yeah, so we immediately started playing in Buffalo. That's like where we got our start. We got this residency where we had a monthly show for a year, and it allowed us to get like a work visa, so that we toured in between those shows, and like it really opened the doors.
Buffalo, and we meet this guy Bruce, who had a big hand in breaking U2 and Bryan Adams and a bunch of other bands, and he loved Nikki, and he's like, you guys want to play this benefit show? And we play it. It's at the town ballroom, so it's the biggest show we had ever played. It's like a 1,000-cap room. It was awesome. And he loved the show, and he's like, man, you guys are so great. You have a record. And we're like, hell yeah, we got a record. We're just mixing it right now. Give us a week, and we'll show it to you. We did not
have a record.
We did not have a song. We did not have a song.
Lied straight to his face.
So we went back to Canada, and my apartment, I forgot to get the gas turned on, not because I'm poor, but because I'm dumb. And it was cold. And
You are poor.
I am poor.
But he's also from London, so you can't tell anybody.
But, so we wrote 8 songs in a week, and then went to Buffalo to this nice studio and recorded them all in 5 days and gave him the record. He passed it on to CeeLo Green somehow, and then we ended up touring with CeeLo, and then the rest kind of snowballed from there.
So, like, you just, you know, you kind of, like, everybody kind of goes, hey, I'm from London. Boy, I can't wait to get to Toronto.
Yeah.
And you just went the hell the other way. Like, you
Let's catch this Sarnia border.
Yeah, like, you get Sarnia some scenic shit, right?
Yeah.
It's got a nice, dirty, river there. And, like, you know, and it's got a petroleum.
Dude, I was getting out of my hometown to get into London.
Yeah, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that.
My hometown's like 12 hours north.
Wow.
Cochrane, Ontario.
Cochrane, Ontario, wow. That's incredible, actually.
Yeah.
Wow. So yeah, when you're escaping your small town and get to London because it's the big town.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was almost like a culture shock. For me.
Yeah. So the point is now after you started doing this gigging in Buffalo, then what? Because like you ended up in a lot of places in the States.
Yeah. So we take these first couple gigs, we make the record for Bruce. Somehow our record gets kind of passed on to CeeLo. CeeLo loves it or whatever, and puts us on the bus with him. And takes us from New York out to LA.
Yeah, just touring
Wow.
the States.
Yeah.
And from there, we would just like keep going back to our old markets, like the
Repeatedly.
Midwest. The Midwest really turns up for Nikki'S vibes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So did Toronto when you got back here. I was there.
That was
That was
exciting,
a really
man.
cool show. I mean, we did the Rivoli like the summer before, and that completely sold out. And the Rivoli is what, like two
something, yeah.
something? And we were like, whoa, that's crazy, because we hadn't played in such a long time. The last one we played was at the Phoenix with She Wants Revenge, I think. And
But these are big places. Like I mean, the Rivoli's a pretty. It's not the biggest place, but it's a pretty well respected
it's
venue.
a very well respected, yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of the.
Yeah.
It may not be the biggest, but you know, someone that's playing there has got to be kind of good.
Yeah,
they're
they're
pretty
serious.
discerning. Yeah, like they
For
really
sure.
are. Yeah.
But then to go from that to Lee's, such a big jump. It was awesome.
And you guys were awesome. Like I mean, like I saw you there. I was watching, and it was unique and awesome for sure.
We tried to-
We got a lot of footage with very bad audio. Oops. So, anyways, so like, and in coming back, it was like again we were joking about this. It was like like the triumphant warriors coming back from the U.S.
Yeah.
to Canada, and they just whacked you right into Lee's Palace, and boom, like you sold the
Yeah.
place out, right? Like that's honestly, and now like you're here,
Yeah.
you're headlining Indie Week.
Yeah.
So like I mean like what do you say to all that? Like you've come back, you've done the States, you're here,
It's
you
stunning.
sold out like incredible venues,
It's
and now
so
you
weird, man. Like we walked in to here today, and it's our faces on every screen, and it's kind of like, what the fuck?
Why is that there?
And we're like, so I mean, we still haul our own gear and do all our own stuff. Like
Yeah.
we're not a big band, and it was so bizarre to have people buying VIP packages.
Shout out to the Ride or Dies, the VIP
Yeah,
people
man,
who
it's
spent the
so
money,
cool.
who fucking came out just to hang out with us, and who are coming out with us afterwards to go to the Bovine to sing karaoke. This is where the after party for this night is.
so we all know that like that's gonna be where the fun happens
Oh,
and all
yeah.
of this, right? So like it's like
Yes.
I can't imagine the bad things that are gonna happen there. It's, so now you've got I mean now what? And she's
Man,
like,
I don't even know. Like whatever's coming next, I'm ready for it.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
let's bring on more shows. Let's bring on more fucking great records. Let's bring
Yeah.
on more fucking great songs.
is there any
dude.
new
Like,
music coming out in like the next little bit, or are you busy supporting
So
what you already
we
had?
just dropped the EP on the 8th, Friday the 8th
Yeah.
of November, and we're gonna try to have another 2 singles, I hope, by the end of the year.
Wow.
We just want to keep it moving. I mean, because if there's one thing we never had a hard time with is being prolific. I mean, like we got 80 songs in the
Yeah.
band.
Whoa.
Just write songs.
So you're just like you're on like a scheduled release system, right?
Yeah,
So
like,
it's
we're
we've
like,
trying
never really
to.
put anything out before. Like we had one EP before this EP and like a handful of singles, so we just want to like stop doing that and just put this music out that we've created because it's not doing anything. Just sitting.
Yeah, it's just sitting in an archive, yeah.
Dropbox, yeah.
Moving baby all day. Just hiding around with my history. Play with my
Yeah, Dropbox is a great place. It's not really no one's listening. No one's listening. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. That'd be a good one. Right?
Directly next, you know, we head out to LA for a couple shows, and then to write a bunch more music with some really cool people. And we always go into these sessions. We don't know if it's going to be a Nikki'S Wives song or their song. We just kind of go in blind and
it's amazing.
have some fun.
You know, it's sort of funny because a certain, I'm going to leave his name nameless, but a certain owner of a certain very big venue, and you guys personify this. He said the biggest problem with most Toronto bands is they're not willing to leave their minimum wage job and their parents' house or their apartment to go and launch their career. This is what the biggest problem is in Toronto live music. And you guys did all that fearlessly.
Yeah, I mean, you have to do it fearlessly. You can't do it.
Yeah. So, you know, as like.
Fuck who's at the door.
Yeah. So yeah, like I mean, so now we've also had this great thing. We've been following you since we saw you at Lee's Palace. So you know, it seems like you got kind of a little fashion thing going on. Like you got a very unique style.
She does.
It suits you very, very well, and all of you do. So like, I don't know, but like, you got a little bit of rock and roll over here. You got a lot of like diva kind of fashion, and you got some like Talking Heads, like 1980s. I'm just kidding. You're like a mod. It's awesome. It's like awesome. Great hair, great outfit. It's good, right?
Especially right now.
Yeah.
No, I think fashion's really cool because it allows you to just express, I don't know, your personality, and you can like switch it up. And I love using like hair, like dyeing your hair different colors.
Absolutely.
And just like all this stuff. I think it's really fun.
Well, you're seeing a lot of musicians, like I mean, like especially, I don't want to pigeonhole this, but a lot of female musicians are segueing their careers right into fashion.
Yeah, I think that a lot of the time they kind of go hand in hand because you're so focused on your image and like what you want to look like and like what you want to wear that it just kind of comes.
You kind of have to do it, right? Yeah, like so. It's do you find yourself dressing these guys, or is it vice versa?
Front women drive fashion. It's like even in fashion, you see like the headliners of the bands just like walking the runways, like Rihanna and shit like that.
Yeah,
like,
Rihanna.
These are the girls who drive the culture industry.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's funny because you say Rihanna, you're absolutely right. She's like a fashion diva on top of anything, right?
Yeah.
And then you've got like, I mean, like, you know, no doubt. It's
Gwen Stefani. Gwen Stefani's like my biggest inspiration.
I mean, I don't blame you. I kind of knew that a little bit. That's why I brought it up. And I don't blame you because like she makes she is like, if you put Triple Threat in Wikipedia, they just have a picture of her. She's like a supermodel. She's like a freaking fashion designer. Oh, and she can sing too, just to boot. I think she can act a little bit, you know. So you know, and she is awesome. She's a powerful woman, which is probably not a bad example either, right? So, but yeah, so you know, going back to your music, where do you feel you fit into this? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I without pigeonholing yourself, because I would, like, you know, really stay away from that if I were you. Not that I had, like, but what, like, where are you know, like, Indie Week has been traditionally band-driven. Yeah. But you can see some of the other influences seeping in now.
Yeah.
And when you're going to LA, how is that? Like, how is the influence of, like, say, Los Angeles or United States culture sort of seeping into your band?
Man, I wouldn't say that we fit in, like, 100% anywhere. So
that might be good.
We just kind of do our thing and trying to collect the people that are like us. Like, we know when we're writing a song that there's someone out there that feels the same way that we do, and there's someone out there that likes the same kind of song that we do. We're just trying to write for those kind of like niche people. And I don't think those kind of niche people represent 100% of like a specific market either way, but it's just kind of like our tribe, and we're trying to just like speak to those people.
And I think I think the way people are consuming every form of media is very, for instance, based. Like, you don't have, like, I mean, I'm sure albums like, you know, the 60s, 70s, 80s, they had to be all consistent and stuff like that. Like, you know, my kid showed me TikTok.
Yeah.
I'm embarrassed to say I watch it far too much now. Because I only have, it's like, I really do. It's horrifying. I don't let her watch it anymore, by the way. But it's no way. But it's, I mean, people are consuming at that rate, right? Yeah. So you can be something like 15 seconds ago and then have something else great that might be a little different, and again, it's completely valid and relevant. So it's very interesting that way. So I guess music might have to just be that way too. Who knows, right?
Things in genres and everything, and I get it because you need to categorize it somehow for consumption, right? It makes sense, but we definitely don't lock right into one thing. We definitely lean like an alt-rock band.
Yeah.
But a lot of what we do is pretty fucking poppy at times, and it's pretty...
Well, you guys look pretty up on stage, so it's so hard to be like, this grunge rock band when you look so cool, right? Like, you're like, it's just one of those things, it's like, hi, we're just too pretty for grunge. It's just like,
Yeah.
Anyways, just kidding.
I mean, Kurt Cobain was a beautiful man.
He tried really hard not to be, though. Yeah. Really hard not to be. Yeah, it's true though, man. Like that jawline of his was like it went on for 2 years, right?
Oh, yeah, it's insane.
But like you go back to that, how much of that sort of music influenced you guys?
And grunge music, like I love the darker side of grunge. I love Alice in Chains.
Oh, but who doesn't? My God, that was an era where rock and roll. Like I got to listen to that in my prime, and I go back to and we're gonna go back to London. So remember GTs?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course.
GTs, oh yeah. So you while you were on your pacifier, I was getting drunk in GTs, right? So, but there was a band that played there every freaking night called Granger of Ghost, and they could sing Pearl Jam and Soundgarden like they were there.
Yeah.
Funny side note, that band's lead singer was the owner and founder of the Dakota in Toronto.
No shit, that's cool.
Sean Creamer.
Damn.
And now he's retired, he's moved out, he owns a hayloft out in King City. But anyways, these guys, like, it's embedded in my head, but I'd be driving around, we joked about my old hillbilly Jeep, right?
Yeah.
But it'd be screaming Soundgarden out of the back of it, right? So, very iconic time in rock and roll, right?
Yeah.
So, like, how much of that seeps into what you're doing?
I feel like a band we really channeled is, like, Deftones for this.
Amazing band.
It's like guitar tones and the bass that we picked, like we tried to channel that kind of heavy, sultry kind of thing.
Yeah.
Getting a lot of a perfect circle.
Really?
Coming back at us for these last
Yeah,
songs. Yeah.
So I've talked about everything I can think about other than when I get to see you next. But I work.
Follow us on social media. We post every time we play this.
We'll be letting you know.
You got to tag us so we can repost everything. We're really good at it, right? So, anyways, I think we'll see you sooner than you think. But it's really been a pleasure talking to you guys. Sorry about all the references to London. We'll send them a bill for it.
Bring them on.
But
Bring them on.
Tourism London gets the bill, right? Anyways, this is Nikki'S Wise. It's been great talking to you guys. And I can't wait to see you guys on stage tonight.
I stay in